My girlfriend and I have been together for 11 years and have one beautiful 7-year-old, and she has another 15-year-old from a previous relationship. We met when I was 18, and I took on the responsibility of helping to bring up my stepdaughter as my own. Our relationship, like most, has gone through its ups and downs. I was young and had never been in a long-term relationship. I made mistakes. She made many more. However, for the last 5 years, I have been an honest, faithful, loving friend. 2 years ago, I decided to be as selfless and loving as I could be to everyone around me. At the beginning of the year, I had some things happen in my life which left me in a really dark place, severely depressed. In the beginning, she was there for me and she was perfect. She made a calendar to remind me every day how she felt for me. But a couple of heartfelt things which helped me through the hardest times. I haven't been myself for 10 months and I have admittedly withdrawn, but it was in the darkest moments that I decided I wanted to spend the rest of my life with this girl. And I started to plan my proposal. My girlfriend was furloughed for most of the lockdown, but eventually found a new job where she seemed so much happier. At the start of October, I found that my girlfriend was pulling away. She no longer said she loved me, no longer hugged me or kissed me. And I started to have suspicions. I worked on myself in a relationship. She would hide her phone when I was around or quickly exit WhatsApp. However, at the end of October, she started going to the gym. One night her class wasn't for hours after she finished work. Her response was that she would wait outside until the class started. It didn't make sense to me. I called her after work and she sounded like she was in the car. But her response was that she was working late at work and trying to get things finished up before heading to the gym. I turned on Find My iPhone to discover she wasn't where she said she was. She was outside another man's house. I confronted her about this and she lied, saying she was at work and then switched to saying she was picking up a quick tea before class. Until I eventually revealed that I knew exactly where she was because of the tracker she blew up, that I invaded her privacy and that I was some freak for tracking her every move. And then eventually came out with the truth that yes, indeed, she was there to meet another man. She had been having an affair with a man at her new job. I asked her to come home to talk about it, but she refused and instead turned her phone off. She had invited him into her car after a conversation, and they drove together to a local park and spent hours together. I went around to his house only to find that they were not there. His father opened the door, and when I explained the situation, his only response was, "Sounds about right. He does this." She drove to her mom's afterward, still texting him with kisses and apologizing that I went around to his house with emojis included. Eventually we spoke and she showed me what little texts she had not had a chance to delete yet. He was laughing that I had almost found out about their affair a couple of days prior when she thought I was going through her phone. I had not had a chance to do this yet. I contacted him and told him how he was hurting a 7-year-old girl, and he laughed at that and could only say, "I am doing nothing wrong. I'm a one-man band." We eventually agreed that she would block him from everywhere and discussed her leaving her new job to try and work on us. She opened up about other issues we were having, and one of those was money. She wouldn't ever be open to me about what kind of position she was in money-wise. She had finally been honest and told me she was $400 overdrawn and another $300 was due to come out. I was a sucker that fell for the fact that she was finally being honest with me and transferred her the $700. A short while later, she blocked me on all outlets and unblocked him. I asked her to get therapy and she said she couldn't afford it. She used the $700 to book a hotel room with a man she had an affair with that cost the same amount as therapy. She says that the last 11 years have been so unhappy for her and I didn't love her enough or show her enough affection. This isn't true. I'm an affectionate person by nature and showed her love constantly. I have had 10 really dark months, but I was just starting to feel better about myself. She calls me a narcissist, a dit, a prick. Conversation is full of abuse, refuses 5,050 custody. However, I had my daughter 5 out of the 7 nights last week because she wanted to go see this man instead. I leave every conversation feeling like things were my fault, worthless, and that I should have done more this past year. She refused to sit down with the children to explain what is happening because it needed to be done with her so that she can console her children and not feel like she has abandoned them. However, because I've had my child almost every night, that's impossible. It's not fair on her. She's asking questions specifically about what cheating is. I also felt like, why should I have to feel like I've abandoned her? Why should we do it on her terms? I didn't make these choices. She did. To top it all off, yesterday I found out that the man she has chosen has a problem with drugs to the point that he's not allowed to see his current children and recently dumped his ex because he got her pregnant and wouldn't abort their baby. Sorry if this is a lot or all over the place. My head is a mess at the moment. There's a lot more, but I think this is long enough. Forgive me, but your relationship sounds like it was overdue before the affair started. But you stayed together for the kids, etc., until there was a catalyst to end it. That's what this is, an exit affair. She's picked this scummy as too-fair partner possible and treated you so badly that you now have no choice but to break it off with her. She has gone full scorched earth. She's probably got no long-term plans with this guy, as she knows he's vile or he will shortly find out. You can't come back from this. Notice she took your money and paid for the hotel. A third partner didn't. He doesn't even have to pay for dates, etc., to have sex with her. Don't contact a fair partner again. There's nothing but pain here. Contact up there, only through lawyers or for trial arrangements. Your priority right now is to seek legal advice for separation and how best to protect your kids while she's with him. She wants out, and you should too. Next up, girlfriend met up with a guy at 3 a.m. Is she cheating? Fiancé? 34 female. Stay with parents for the last couple of weeks and die 40 male. Notice she doesn't reply as fast or at all. Now I turn on the PC and she's still logged into Facebook and I see messages between her and several men. But one in particular, she is asking to pick her up from a party. There was getting bad on Halloween night. I see this and think, dang, what should I do? I message her a couple of times and no reply. After I get no reply, she still messages the guy asking when he will arrive to pick her up. He comes and gets her and they spend the night together. I know this for a fact. Due to Facebook location tracking that was luckily turned on. I wanted to give her a chance to redeem herself by admitting the infidelity. So a few days goes by and she still wants to talk and is allegedly worried that I won't respond now. I started out asking where she was the night in question and she responds with, I did go help someone out, and when I pressed for the name of who it was, she wouldn't say. I had to ask about 5 times because she didn't want me to get upset. Then later she asked what I'm going to do. If she tells me and I say nothing. I just want to see if you can be honest with me. Finally, she tells me the name of a guy that we both know who does home renovations and that he allegedly needed help with working on a house at 3 a.m. on Halloween night. The name, she told me, isn't the guy she was messaging to come get her. I confront her about this immediately and tell her the real name of the guy. Let's call him Boso Bob and ask how long they've been talking. She tried to change the subject about 3 times during this question. She did say not long and not like that at first and then 8 days ago later. And he doesn't matter after that. But from the further digging I've done, she was in communication with Boso Bob for at least 10 months that I can see anyways. So then I ask where they went. She says he took her home after I keep asking where they went and for how long. I confront her about this obvious lie and tell her I know the address, the time, everything about her Halloween night visit with Boso Bob to do a home renovation. I also tell her I know that she has been in communication for months with him. She replies that he was only trying to get a job with us to renovate a house and that she was trying to help her friend get hooked up with him. Then she says that she was sometimes saying dumb stuff to him to see if you were looking at my Facebook. She then replies that it is all her fault and wants to give up. I remind her that I gave her an opportunity to come clean and be honest with me, but she still lied and repeated direct questions that should have produced easy, simple answers. Her response, I didn't tell you because I know going out was not a good thing. I didn't want to get you upset about it. Just because I didn't tell you at the moment doesn't mean I was never going to tell you. What do you think? Is this cheating or is she telling the truth and was just stressed out and needed to get away from the Halloween party to do some flooring at 3 a.m. until the next afternoon? What should I do? Should I allow her to try to come clean about other really odd discrepancies I found when looking further back at the location history? She says at home, but really somewhere else. Or every day she is at home while I'm at work. Her location history gets deleted for some reason. Update time after the initial breakup and the original thread. My ex-fiancé wanted to ask for money and other items from a relationship engagement ring, etc. I simply told her I wouldn't communicate any further unless she sends me an email detailing the relationship she had with Boso Bob and their efforts to hide it from both me and the other affected partner. I also shared the original post with my ex-fiancé and the other affected partner actually. There's a separate thread which details the other affected partner's situation. So my ex-fiancé will probably read this thread as well. My ex-fiancé essentially admitted the affair already in a roundabout way, as well as her 16-year-old daughter basically told me she knew what was going on a short time ago. My ex-fiancé doesn't want to write the details of their plan her and Boso Bob were making, though, so I have to put the engagement rings up for sale. I looked further back in the location history and found that my ex-fiancé was meeting with guys for at least half of our 7-year relationship. Many things become clear with 2020 hindsight. The same is true here. I did notice the signs though. More on that below. I feel that she'll never share the details of the Boso Bob affair. Plot twist, I knew all along. I was really hoping that my ex-fiancé was the one. Even though all of my other relationships ended when the partner was shown to be cheating, I was hoping she would show me that there really is still such a thing as love and monogamy before entering this relationship 7 years ago. I had started reading and watching videos about dating coaches and the like. Using this information, I knew what some of the warning signs of infidelity were and started seeing these about 3 years into a relationship. I recall now that I actually did uncover cheating in 2017. I wanted to not believe it. I wanted to give her a chance to be better and for us to be together in marriage. I saved that data in a USB stick, lost it, and then set my mind into forgive but verify mode. It is at this time that I'm at my lowest, but I see through it and don't act on any feelings I may have had of self-harm. It was tough to do without any support, as I couldn't tell anyone around this time. I also started actually requiring that my ex-fiancé pay some of the expenses, rent and bills with her income. Before, I didn't really mind footing the bill for most things. Eventually she used her unemployment and then credit to pay a small percentage, 20 to 25% of our expenses. She also started having her 6-year-old daughter stay with us the past 6 months or so. I continued building my property portfolio and eventually we decided on and I purchased our forever home in the country. The ex-fiancé is sometimes concerned that I don't put my property in her name as well, even though I owned most of it before I met her, and also concerned about marrying ASAP. We buy engagement rings and recently I was planning our wedding and honeymoon until last month. Obviously I started seeing more signs again, which led to the original post. Now she only tries to communicate with me about her money and expects me to give back the engagement ring and money items she paid towards expenses and bills. Not one word about our affairs, as I requested for any further communication. I think you're asking whether there's any point in trusting anyone ever again, and fair enough. You feel completely betrayed right now. I would to short answer yes. But trust is built and maintained. You can use your experiences in this train wreck situation to help you identify red flags. However, without counterbalancing your new supercharged sense of something is wrong with a healthy dose of self-love and self-confidence, you risk becoming a paranoid partner. I would definitely take some time to reinvest the energy you're no longer spending on your ex into yourself. Do things you're passionate about that build you up inside. Get in the kind of shape you'd like to be in. Surround yourself with people that respect you and build you up as well when you're in a solid spot. That sharp eye for BS will serve you well in the early days of dating, and your self-confidence will attract stable, less scrappy partners to the kind of relationship you desire. Best of luck, cop.